don't feel so bad now.
Yeah, it is recording now.
Okay, that is an Arduino. What was the name of the file again?
Arduino upload.pdf, I believe.
So the other one doesn't work, or what?
The other what?
Well, the instructions that I found on the website for going through the, for downloading the software and then uploading it to the Arduino.
The upload document is good, I believe, except if you have an iMac or a Macintosh. Apparently,
Okay,
a couple
'cause I
people
did-
have
they-
trouble
they-
with that.
I did it today, finally, after the 5th time, and the LED blinked, so I guess it flashed.
Did you get a solid red light when you were done? I mean, there's 4 LEDs, so
Yeah.
there's a transmit and a receive LEDs, and if those were blinking, those flash alternately when it's doing the upload, so that's a good sign.
Good.
And then after the upload is complete, it'll tell you down in the bottom window that it finished.
I don't think I saw the word finish.
The real test is if your display comes up with 7040.
Oh, okay.
If it's doing that, you did a fine job.
Time and do it, okay. It's okay, I have trouble following instructions anyway, I'm told.
Aren't you married?
Yeah. 48 years.
Oh my goodness. Lucky woman.
I keep telling her.
Sounds like a busy year. That's how long we're going to be married this year.
Really.
Us too.
Yeah.
Where is L5 on the schematic?
And maybe you're looking
Which
at the wrong
schematic are you
schematic.
looking at?
It's 1. I don't know.
I don't think
Does
Bill was-
the relay have a double pole, 2 poles, or the relay have 1 pole?
1.
That's the wrong drawing.
I did upload a new schematic to match
The other
new
drawing's
board.
in there.
Okay.
So go to the file folder and get the schematic that matches your board.
Cool.
Maybe the easiest thing to do would be to erase everything we have and download everything all over again.
The proper schematic is a PDF file, .sch.
Okay.
I
guess
the one I put up which matches is schematic.pdf, I believe.
Yeah, that's the proper one.
Okay.
the double pole relay.
Okay.
Now,
You may recall when I first put this together, I put a TR switch in there, and I found a couple of things that were out of whack, and so I added another pole to that relay so it would mute the VFO during receive, and that's the reason for the double pole relay. And I also discovered that the regulator circuit did not like the board layout because the RF would feed back into the regulator and give you 0.3 volts to bias your MOSFET, which, by the way, won't work. So that's why that resistor R1 was changed from 1K to an inductor of 22 microhenries. So solved all those problems, except it created another set of problems because the CAD package that I used, I had it renumber any new components, and it took what should have been R4 or R5 and made it R1, and that led to all sorts of confusion. So the moral of the story is don't let me do anything.
we appreciate what you do, Phil.
Bill, is there another R1 on the board?
Now there
Yes,
is.
there's an R1 on the board, and it's a 10K R1.
This is the L5 right here. And then the new R1 is down here. It's the 10K.
Right at the tail of the Arduino.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, got it.
They're both properly marked. It's just that you need to know that L5 really is that 22 micro. I've had guys tell me I've got this extra part here,
Uh,
which by the way is L5. And there's not a 1K resistor in there. There's an extra 10K resistor in there. According to the old drawing, you need the new drawing.
A question.
What's that?
With the transmitter not keyed on frequency on a receiver, you can still hear the tone. Is that normal? It's faint. It's in the background, but it's kind of like
Well, it's not keyed. There's a transmit receive switch.
Mhm.
If you have that switch in the transmit mode, you should be able to hear that oscillator. If that switch isn't closed, you should not hear that oscillator.
Okay, that's
Okay.
the mute function you were looking for.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
I have some feedback about my building this. Of course, I built it in sections as I posted on the group. First, I did the power supply, which was the regulators U1 and U2 and the associated circuitry. I plugged it into the 12 volts to make sure that it was putting out the right voltage. And since that was all okay, then I put in the Arduino, the SI5 5351, the display board and the encoder and the associated circuits. And I tried to power it on and I wasn't getting anything on the display. And I looked very carefully and I noticed that one of the pins on the Arduino socket was empty. It did not put solder in there. So you really need to check it with a magnifying glass and make sure you've got everything soldered and you don't have any soldered bridges. The most difficult part for me to solder in here was U2. It was that tiny little, the tiny little
U92.
voltage regulator. Those connections are so close to each other. These three right here. That one I'm talking about right here. These three above my fingernail. They're
Yeah.
so close. You have to make sure that there's no solder bridges in there. Those are the closest connections on this board, I believe.
Yep.
So are you telling me we don't want to do a surface mount next time?
Now,
Amen.
So,
I just love, you did a wonderful job. I have to say that, Phil. Look at those beautiful coils. You did a beautiful job in doing this board for us. It made it so easy and collecting all of these parts for us. Thank you. And it works like a charm. It does.
Nice.
So,
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. You seem to be making an awful lot of contacts with it.
yeah. Oh, by the way, I got, you might have seen it was an email from Bob Fontana. He did work somebody this morning in Southern California. So he made the first transcontinental contact with this Tuna Tints S. He asked if I would try to do it on Saturday morning, early in the morning. I still might try to do that. I don't know if there's any luck, if anybody else wants to try it, if they've got their rig ready.
You need to be up at 4 a.m.
That's right, 4 a.m. here, 7 a.m. over there.
I think you said 5 a.m. Yeah.
Well,
Gert says she wants to be on at 4 a.m. I saw her
I
raise
have
her
no
hand.
problem with 4 a.m. I'm kind of a night person.
Problem with 5 a.m. here is that's a time that the band is closing down. I think it's good to do it, try and do it earlier, an hour earlier before the band actually closes.
Yep. Speaking of displays, we were pleasantly surprised after our having it soldered in the wrong place
Uh-huh.
that it works.
Yeah.
It did not blow it up.
Yeah.
That's after
Wow.
we bought new ones. I am impressed. It's a lot more durable than we thought.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
By the way, if anybody needs any socket material, I bought a bunch of them off Amazon. I got 40 strips and there's, I think, 40 or 50 pins in each strip. So if anybody needs socket material, I got it.
Your camera works good, Carol.
Yeah, look at that. It's actually color. It's got yellow on top and blue below. I didn't realize this. It's actually monochrome. I guess they just have different color lettering on the top there, but that's really cute. And this, oh, this is this upgraded Arduino sketch that that allows you to change down to 10 hertz. So you can go down to 10 hertz and do that. It's really neat.
Hey, Carol.
Yes.
Carol, in the code, I added 3 lines, so it puts my call sign on the display too.
Oh, good.
It's that
Good.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah, that way you won't forget when you're sending a call out what your call
How
sign is.
many lines can you get on there?
I tattooed my call on my navel so I can find it.
You contemplate your navel a lot?
Only when transmitting.
Seemed to be way too.
I think you went to the Naval Academy.
Annapolis.
Yes. Yes, Peachy. Oh.
Are you
That
including
short
those
letter-
adapters?
That
Are you-
short letter that comes with the Nana isn't used then, apparently, because there's no place in the board for it to stick into, right?
For
That's it
what?
there. Well, on the Nana, you know, I soldered on the pins on each side.
Oh, so you've got the programming pin on top, the 6-pin.
Yeah.
Well,
You didn't need to put that one in, but it won't hurt
okay, at the
anything.
bottom you don't need, right?
You know, yeah, I guess you'd call that the bottom. Actually, the bottom is the pins that you plug into the board.
Now, the 6-pin ICSP connector goes on the top, but you don't need to do that.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have a question for Margaret.
So what the USB plugs into is the bottom then?
No, that's the top.
USB plugs into that socket.
Yeah.
Right. But on the other end of that, then there's another header that came with it, but it doesn't.
Yeah, you don't need that one.
No.
Yeah, because there's no place in the board for it.
No.
Right.
These are kind of universal programmable devices that you can use in other settings, and that's probably where the output is for a robot or something, control, something like that.
I mean, this wasn't designed just for this project.
The
Almost
Arduino?
exactly.
What a surprise! Now that's amazing.
That 6-pin connector is the in-circuit serial programming connector, which was used in the old days, but the USB way of doing things is easier, simpler. So forget it.
Can you program this while it's plugged into the Tuna tin, or do you recommend removing the Nano Arduino Nano when you want to program it?
I don't think there's any problem with programming it while it's plugged in.
Oh, good.
I would leave the power off on the transmitter.
Certainly. Okay, that way you don't have to keep removing it and plugging it back in if you want to reprogram it.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a question for Margaret. Are you there, Margaret? You have to unmute yourself.
Okay. Yeah, I'm here.
Have you had any luck getting your Arduino programmed?
I thought I programmed it. Okay.
Does the display come up?
No. So that's where I'm at. And of course, I thought I programmed it, but the display doesn't come up. So maybe I didn't. Yeah, I'm on an iMac, so it's a little bit different. So hopefully I can talk to somebody who's on an iMac to download. So, but I did watch the YouTube, and it looks like I did it right. So it's a mystery.
Well, if you're stuck, we can make arrangements to have somebody program that thing for you.
Okay.
We don't want you sitting at home twiddling your thumbs, not being able to talk to the East Coast.
That's right. Okay, thank you.
Right.
I kind of want to do it myself, but you know how that is.
Another thing we can do is pull out one that's already programmed, plug it in yours, and make sure it works. So that we know the circuitry.
Oh yeah,
You know,
that's
so
that's a good suggestion right there, because who knows I did the
we got to
circuit.
check all of those little holes and make sure they're all soldered and there's no bridges and all the pins are soldered. That's going to be the challenge.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a job.
Those are the easy ones.
Yeah.
We supplied the sockets for the Nano just for that purpose, so that we could unplug your Nano and put another GIMP Nano in its place.
Okay, so good. I have lights on my Nano, so I like that. So we're making progress.
You know, Mork from Ork used to say nano, nano all the time.
Nanu, nanu, yep.
Nano.
Yep.
Hey guys, I may not be able to stay here too long, much longer, but I have a question. Not related to this project. I'm looking for two jacks for the stereo 3.5 millimeters, you know, like a TRRS female. Do you know of any good supplier for that kind of thing?
What, stereo or mono?
No, it's a stereo, but with two rings, TRRS.
Okay.
And I need
With
two
two
of those
rings?
female.
Oh,
You're
That's a
talking,
four
yeah,
conductor.
you're not gonna, those are almost impossible.
Is that right?
That's the same thing that they use for microphone jacks. It's got two rings and a tip.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a hard connector to find. Did you look at Amazon?
Yes, I did. I haven't found it yet. So, but
Interesting.
you know, Amazon things change a little bit because when their suppliers have it or not, I keep on trying.
Well, there's always
Yeah, what happened
eBay.
is, yeah, what happened is that I have a headset that has that pin, and when I plug it into on the receiver, of course I get I have to split the connection so I can plug the receiver and the microphone.
Yeah,
So,
that's a challenge. There's a ham, I think he's a W5 that's in the connector business. He's got all kinds of specialty connectors. I'll see if I can find the information and then email it to you, Neil.
Yeah, there's a ham adapter, and I got the cable from him, but it works okay with but not that part. That part you still have to split it yourself. It's because of my headset has that thing in a single pin. It's not the cable adapter. That's
Yeah, that's a hard
anyway.
one.
Thanks. Yeah, let's not take time on this meeting for that. So if anybody knows about it, let me just drop me an email. Appreciate it.
Should we be asking if they got any questions at this point, Bob?
We're going to run out of time here really quickly. Yeah. Anybody need any help?
I'm wondering, do I need to glue down those inductors or do the wires hold them in place pretty well? The wound inductors.
Soldered in place, they'll be fine.
Yeah, they're just hanging there.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Now, if you're going to take a ride in an F-15, you probably should secure them. Or Tiger Woods. Don't ride with Tiger either.
Never.
Yeah. He's not good on the downhills. Boy, what a rough way to ruin your career, huh?
Oh, that's tragic.
Yep.
They were saying he had like several breaks in his leg. They had to put a rod in his bone and screws in his ankle. So he had multiple fractures in his right leg, I think.
His right leg, yeah.
Pretty bad busted though.
I think he's done. Yeah.
That's what the orthopedic surgeon said about him yesterday.
He also won the U.S. Open on a broken leg, so
I was there
don't
to
put
watch
anything
it.
past him.
Yeah. 2008. Any more questions?
How many of
Oh
you?
yeah. When are we getting that second BNC connector? Are we still waiting on that?
I'm still waiting on 10 of them here. I have
No.
6 or 8 of them. Yeah, I have 8 of them. Yeah.
But not enough to supply everybody. So you were just waiting to make them available when you had enough for everyone.
Yeah. If you were desperate, you could come to my house and I'd give you one.
I'm not desperate. I was just curious what the skinny was on it, because I'm sure other people would wonder the same thing.
when you order it from some unknown name, you know, a Chinese, you know, gobbledygook site, and you have no idea who the person is or where they are in China, and then they show up when they show up, you know.
I hear you. We've been there, we've done our share of waiting, so it's not a big issue. I just was curious if you'd had any word on it. So
So are we going to meet next Thursday again?
We can if there's a need, yeah. So we might as well schedule it, yeah.
Let's schedule it. And Margaret, let me know if you're having trouble with this and we can make arrangements to swap out your Nano and see if we can get you going. There's no need
Okay,
for
very
you to be
good.
sitting on your hands forever.
Okay. Thank you.
Another
But you got to
fellow,
reach out.
Hiroki is using a Macintosh too, and he had some problems. So you and he may have the same issue.
Okay.
just need somebody with a Windows machine so they can program it for you so you can get going.
I do have a Windows, but I've worked on a Mac, you know, most of my life. So to do hand stuff, you kind of need a Windows. So I have one. So maybe I'll try that.
That's
Either that or
probably a
take
good
a bite
idea.
out of the apple.
My main computer is an Apple iMac, but I do have a PC where I do my hand stuff. So
That sounds like a good alternative to just sitting on your hands.
yeah, I could give that a try and see what happens.
Yeah. So,
That's a good suggestion.
Michael?
I know whiz at it now. That I've done a million
Yes,
times.
sorry. Hi.
I mailed your pieces and parts today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
thank you.
yours was just one little choke
Yeah, yeah.
in an envelope.
Okay.
As long as the post office doesn't steal it.
Well, thank you very much.
It's worth
No, I
9
have
cents.
pretty much I have all the other stuff together. I just have to dig out an antenna tuner for my QRP thing because my radio has a built-in one. So now I'm working on getting that ready. So once I put it together and I have something to connect it to, life should be good.
Okay.
Could I ask a question about an oscilloscope?
Sure.
If I take my output from this radio, like the voltage isn't going to be that big, right? So do I need to have an attenuator or a RF sampler to hook it into my oscilloscope?
Shouldn't.
Well, the transmitters require a 50 ohm load.
Right. So if I put in a
So
dummy,
if you put a 50 ohm resistor across the output, you won't have an SWR issue.
okay.
And you can make wiggly worms all over that oscilloscope display and everybody's still happy.
That's what I thought. Okay, so I have a T. I took the BNC out of the radio into a T, and then the coax to the dummy load, and then the other one into my oscilloscope.
That'll work fine.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure.
And then you can do the calculation. P is
Yeah.
equal to E squared over R, right?
Yep. For the RMS voltage, right? Is it for RMS or peak?
That's
One of them's
RMS.
400, one's 200, and one's the R, which I always get that confused.
That's for RMS.
For RMS, okay.
I just got a
Thank
message.
you. No, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to being able to run it.
I just got a message that
What
we
was
have
that, Bob?
9 minutes and we'll be cut off, okay?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, must have been for a whole half hour.
Well, this kind of keeps us, on task. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Well, Zoom is good for people who never want to have to say goodbye because you just get cut off before that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when we have a countdown like this, helps.
That's true. No pressure, no pressure.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
So how many people have their rig working? Carol's got hers working. Bob's got his working. Is yours working, Neil? Hank's
No.
got his working. I
Mine
know
works.
Margaret's still got a small issue. Michael's just getting
John
going.
does his.
John, how about you?
Well, after about tries, I finally found the instructions in the files. I have issues finding things on websites, and got the headers soldered in, and maybe the upload. We'll see if it works. Got doubts now. I didn't see it tape finished.
You're
Dark
Find
clean
out.
you won't be able to read anything on your display unless you've got both regulators in, or at least the regulator U2 in place, and obviously the jacks, and of course the display and the SI 5351.
So that if it doesn't read 7040, we'll then back to the drawing board on the.
You know, suicide is painless.
Yeah. Say, depends on how you do it, actually.
MASH.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Okay.
John Kim is the one that has it operating. He's had several QSOs.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
John, I think John was the first actually. I think Wilson's probably pretty close as well.
And of course, Carol.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carol's going for the long distance record. DXCZ.
She is, yeah.
It's amazing what you can do at low power. I am just absolutely flabbergasted that that could happen so readily.
Just wait until 10 meters really gets open. Then you, let's see.
That's when you need a wet string, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, back in the day, we had what we called 75 watts input, and who knows what the output was because nobody had a watt meter. And so we might have been QRP and didn't even know it back in the 60s.
Probably.
Especially by the time you get out to the antenna and the antenna tuner and the homebrew SWR meter. Yeah.
Those were the good days.
We would just put a
Yeah.
number 47 pilot light on the antenna jack, and if it lit, that was our watt meter.
Yep.
Yeah. I built a DX40 and I hooked up a light bulb to it. Yeah. A regular
60 watt light bulb.
light bulb. Yeah.
Mhm.
To test it. Yeah.
I still got my dummy load from the 60s here. I pulled the coil on it. And yeah.
Look at that. Wow.
I like that.
Lightning arrestor.
But also at that time, all of us used to do the SWR reading at the antenna end of the coax and not at the shack.
Really? Not me.
You were the wealthy guys. A lot of us didn't have an SWR anything.
Well, I had a homebrew one.
You just have to adjust the loading portion of the Pine network for minimum spark.
Dip and load, dip and load.
SWR meter.
Yep, there you go.
There you go.
Uncalculated, but tuned for minimum SWR. Who knows what was up there?
In the forward position, you peg the needle, and in the reverse position, you can barely see a wiggle. That's perfect.
That's right.
I want to drive this with the Nano on my phone.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. Yeah.
You might need a little driver in there.
Yeah, at the time, for us down South America, the king of the hill was the 813, with 807 being.
Yeah, 807s.
Driver, yeah.
I couldn't
I
afford
had a
one.
Harvey Wells that used an 807.
I couldn't afford one because so I have to do a 6L6 modulating a 6L6.
That's a great combination.
25 watts.
I wonder if this works as good as that bird does.
What bird?
I wonder if what works good is as good as
The
the bird.
flamingo.
Oh, the
This
flamingo.
works
Oh, the
good as the
flamingo?
flamingo.
Oh.
Tom's Flamingo.
As long as it's pink.
Yep.
And that
Okay.
is when it's powered up. It is kind of a pinkish blue color.
That's a question to talk to Tom about.
He's not here tonight, apparently.
Well, guys, I need to leave. Thank you. This is informative. We'll be back here on Thursday. Thank you, Carol.
Okay,
night, guys.
Milton.
All right.
Have a good week.
All right, yeah.
Night.
Yeah.
Good night, all.
Don't forget to record it on
Thanks,
Thursday.
Carol. Yeah,
We're about to time out, I suspect.
we'll do the recording, yeah. Bye, John.
Okay, thank you both for all you've done
Yeah.
getting us going on this thing. It's a real learning experience for me. The last transmitter I built was with octal sockets and miniature 9-pin.
Yeah. Fun
Been a
stuff.
while.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to sign off as well.
Okay.
All right.
Good night,
Take
all.
care.
Good night,
Good
all.
night, everybody.
Night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Margaret.
Good night.
Good night, Mike.
And Art, Phil.
Feels like the Waldens right now.
Yeah, yeah. We're down to 5 participants.
Yeah. Anyway, well, I suppose we can always click off and say enough already. See you next week.
Good night, Gert.
Good night.
Sounds good.
I'll end it.